Welcome back to another video in this series where we are trying to build an internship portal. So I have started my XAMPP and my SQL server from the XAMPP's installation in the previous video. I'll just quickly head over to Bootstrap website so that we can see what it is and how we can use it for our project. So here I'm going to Bootstrap the latest version. I think it's 4.5. Okay, so this is an outdated alpha release. Please visit the stable release. So this should be Bootstrap 4.5. Okay, so here we are. So what Bootstrap basically is a framework which we have to use with combination like you can just use the styles of Bootstrap using this CSS sheet which is given here, or you can have like additional functionality like collapsing things, form checks and all. So you'll have to include the JS files as well. So usually they will provide you with a starter template. So as you can see, this is a startup template, nothing much. HTML is there, only they have linked this bootstrap.main.css file. Along with that, what they have done is added these two JavaScript files. So that is pretty much it. And what it does is basically styles your component. So if I go to alerts, we have these kind of alerts in our application, right? And we have like different thing like collapsible items. For example, this one here, we have like drop downs, we have like jumbotrons, input groups and all. So basically it just provides you a way of styling your basic HTML elements. That's all. Nothing technical, nothing that hard to grasp. Now some of you might find it challenging to learn all the bootstrap class names, but trust me, you don't have to learn everything. You just have to use the bootstrap classes that we need in the way. So for our internship portal, we are going to need two things. First one is the sign in option, sign in or sign up, and another one is this dashboard, I guess, where we can go and kind of show these what do I call it? Okay, so these internship applications and all. So this is a template bootstrap example, and this is a sign-in example. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so this one here has floating labels, which kind of looks good, but I don't think it is included. So what you have to do is you have to go here and you have to click on download examples, and zip file is downloaded here, which will have to open. So now I have this file. I'll just extract it here itself. So my file is ready. Now in this examples file, what I have to do is I have to take this dashboard. I'll just rename it to internship, and what I'll do is I'll have this assets folder as well. So I'll just copy these two. I'll go over to my XAMPP installation htdocs, and I'll just paste them here. So now if I go to localhost slash internship, it should open up the same dashboard that we saw. So yeah, this is pretty much it in the dashboard. Nothing new, nothing extraordinary. What will be interesting is to see how we actually use this dashboard to achieve something that we want. Okay, so let us get ahead and open Visual Studio Code. On open folder, I'll go to E drive XAMPP htdocs, and in it I'll select internship. Don't save. this is pretty much it, guys. In this, there's a thing when we copied the assets folder, it is actually outside our project directory. So I'll just create, or maybe what I can do is I can remove the dot slash assets, and I'll just have in the same directory. And what I'll do is I'll go to htdocs and I'll take this assets folder and move it inside our project directory. So basically internship is our project directory. Now whatever we have, it is here itself. So this will contain all the css files and javascript files. This has the bootstrap logo in it, and this is some additional css and javascript for the bootstrap form. So I'll just quickly save it. And now if I go to my Chrome and I refresh it, everything is working just fine as we expected. So what I have done right now is I have kind of restructured the directory structure. So document root is somewhere your code belongs, from where your web server will serve the code. So what we have here is basically a landing page, which would be just a simple page saying that this is the internship portal and all. Now the application student side, where they can view internship, apply for internships and etc. So the student side will be there in the student folder, which is the student area. The faculty side similarly will be in the faculty area. Again, now the css and javascript assets that are going to be used are going to be there in the assets folder, so which all of these are. So yeah, that is pretty much it about the directory structure. And the names that like they tell you about the thing that they are gonna do. So the index.html will be the app that he sees. The login will be student login, sign up will be student sign up. Then faculty will have their own app screen, then login screens, and then sign up screens. So yeah, I'm assuming that you have like knowledge of simple HTML and CSS. So I won't be going into that depth, but for the sake of introduction, I'll just show you the internship portal. So this is the landing page I was talking about. Then we have the student login here, student login as you can see, and in the same way we have the faculty login here. So this is for faculties. Again, now create account for students is different, and for faculties you have to create the account differently. Now what we have to do most of the times is to inspect elements to see if they are being displayed correctly. So as you can see here, the text is not clearly visible. So this is something we use on a daily basis, which is called as inspect. So what you can do here is actually try and change the display size so that we can check whether our design is responsive or not. So as you can see, the features are changing as I change the screen size. As you can see, the hamburger menu is visible when there's no space for both of the menu items to be in here. So also when you scroll down, you can see for faculties, for students, and yeah, so nothing breaks, everything works just fine. So yeah, so this is like responsive design. So how do you design responsively and all? So basically this is something that Bootstrap is doing for us. So what I'll do is I'll quickly just go to a page, let us say test.html. So this page doesn't exist here right now, so it will show 404 error. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna create a file saying test.html, and I'll just write hi or hello world here. So as you can see, my file is running here. So basically the purpose of creating this file is to show you some basic tags of HTML. So which starts from, so you have this specification here, like in Visual Studio Code you have this feature called emit. So as you can see, if I choose HTML5, the template is automatically created. So this first thing says that the document is HTML. So this is basically somewhat like XML markup languages. Like XML is also a markup language, HTML is also like a markup language. So it basically what it does is it defines the structure of your web page. So no matter you are using React, you are using Angular, or you are using any other new technology, but at the end all web pages are gonna render in HTML only. So this is something you must know if you have to go ahead in web designing. So these are like the core parts. HTML tag where the everything exists. So head tag is there and body tag is there. So let me just give some spaces so that you can see it better. So head tag is there and body tag is there. Now meta tag do not appear anywhere, but they give some extra information about the web page you are browsing, and the title will be the one the text that appears right here. So if now I write in body like I am in body, now what it's gonna happen is the document, that text that came here, and this text which was in body came here. So basically this is it about HTML. Now HTML will have different tags, the most popularly used tag being the div tag. So the image abbreviation for this is dot and then tab. So I'll just do it again. I'll just put a dot and then tab, so it will create a div, and I can write I am in a div. So as you can see, now I am in a div. So what you have to do is create some layouts so that we can display the content like nicely. So for that what we use is something called as CSS. So there are three ways of including CSS in your file. So I'll just write a comment. Uh, three ways of importing CSS. CSS basically means cascading style sheets, and cascading style sheets means the same style might be declared in three different files or in three different locations, and the browser will choose the style accordingly. So if in those three locations, so for first let us look at this location. The first location is inline CSS, which would mean like here if I write style is equal to color colon red, so as you can see the text turned red. So this is because this is inline CSS. The second one, inline meaning like written in the same line as HTML. So second one is the in the same file, internal CSS, I think it is called internal CSS. So which is basically defined here in your head tag. So I'll just write style, and I can write for all divs. My font size should be, let us say, 2 times the natural size. So as you can see, the font size has increased. So this is the internal CSS. Now CSS, and the third one will be external CSS, meaning let's say in our assets folder I'll just create another CSS file. I'll call it test.css, and in this file I can write that whatever, let's say all divs will have a border of 1px dashed black. Okay, so this is my test.css file. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna say link CSS, which is style sheet, and the location of this CSS file has to be given here, so which would be assets slash test.css. Okay, so now as you can see all the divs have this dashed black line. So yeah, so this is the three things. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna create a conflict over here. So I'll just say that inline CSS will say that the color of the text is green. Your um, internal CSS will say that the color of the text is, let us say, blue, and your external CSS is gonna say that the color of your content is gonna be red, or let us say lime. Is that a color? Yeah. So if I refresh this, what do you think the color will be? So we have like three options over here. Inline CSS will say green, internal CSS will say blue, and external CSS will say lime. So let us check what happens. So actually the specificity is inline CSS will be preferred, then internal CSS will be preferred, After that, external CSS will be preferred. So this is the least in priority, followed by this, and the most priority is inline CSS, so the color should change to green. So yeah, as you can see guys, the color has changed to lime, which is green. So that's that. So this is the you have to write CSS. So sometimes what happens is, instead of importing this, what we are gonna do is we are gonna just import CSS, which would be like the bootstrap CSS. So as you can see here, I have this href. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna paste the reference as bootstrap css. So now instead of our test.css file, the bootstrap css file is gonna get included. So as you can see, the font has changed. So coming forward to till now, we just had a basic idea about what HTML is, CSS. We didn't go in that deep. So so these three ways of importing CSS we discussed, and there should be something as a CSS selectors. So as you can see guys, the selector can be anything. So as I have written here div, so if I write another div here, I'll call it I am in div 2. So this div 2 is gonna take this color blue from here. So what you have to do is so this is basically selecting by the tag name itself. There can be another style, let us say text text red, which will convert the color side to red. So if I give this class as text dash red, then the div 2 will change to red, as you can see here. Now the third selector is id selector, which I can say that I am in a div with id, what can I say, id anything I can, there's no such restriction, so I can say custom div. So this is the id, so we have to use the attribute id and we have to paste custom div. So if I have to declare some styles for this, I can do hash custom div and I can say font size is equal to large. So as you can see, there is large font size and the third div is coming here. So as you can see, this div has custom div has taken styles from multiple places. So let me just go back here and give it a border as well. So as you can see guys, here this custom div is gonna take styles from this css as well, bootstrap css as well. It's gonna take styles from this hash as well, and it's gonna take style from external css as well. So it should of the color blue, it should have these borders, and it should also have the font family, which is given by css file of bootstrap, and it should also have the id, this font size large. So if I refresh this, okay, something went wrong. Custom div, okay. Okay, so what's happening, actually I unlinked this file so that is why it's happening. So I can just link it again, link css assets slash tester.css. So yeah, as you can see guys, the styles have been imported from everywhere. So this is it about css selectors, basic html layout, and how to link bootstrap css to your html web page. In the next video, we're gonna see how we actually use bootstrap classes to generate the files, the home page that you saw, which is this. So how do we generate this using bootstrap? This is going to be discussed in the next video. So thank you so much for watching guys. If you like the video, please let us know. You can drop your comments, you can subscribe to our channel. That is it for this video. Thank you guys.